Our story begins with a strange tattoo of the Taotai beast on Ethan's back, which had driven him to consume his parents' multi-million-dollar fortune in just 3 years. He found himself lying in a gutter, starving and waiting to reunite with his parents, when a sudden announcement about a national game echoed in his fading consciousness. He assumed it was merely a deathbed hallucination, but a moment later, we see him transported to the middle of a vast, scorching desert. Confused and desperate, Ethan swallowed a mouthful of sand to steady his nerves, only to unexpectedly awaken a devouring purification system. This system allowed him to gain various abilities by devouring anything and everything, and right now, he was staring blankly at the horizon. Looking out over the endless dunes, he recalled the information that had been forced into his mind. It seemed the world was changing. Out of 5 billion people, only 200 were chosen for this game, and somehow, this frail young man was among them. He could barely even move, let alone secure a victory, and he worried his homeland would face total ruin because of his weakness. He briefly considered ending it all by choking on sand so his country could get a replacement, and he was a man of immediate action. With a heavy heart, he scooped up a handful of sand and forced it down, only to hear a notification. Constitution increased by 0.1. Evolution points increased by 0, but the devouring evolution system was successfully bound, allowing him to gain points by consuming everything. These points could evolve his bloodline tattoo, which was currently a level 0 Taotai, though more tattoos could be unlocked later in the shop. This left him utterly stunned, a system that allowed him to eat anything? To be honest, it sounded a bit too good to be true. He realized the Taotai bloodline was the reason for his previous cold-blooded nature, and suddenly, his despairing heart began to burn with a new hope. He began frantically scooping up sand and swallowing it in large gulps, while the notifications of his rising constitution rang continuously in his ears. Meanwhile, the viewers in his country's livestream were completely baffled by the sight of this skinny man acting so strangely. Most of them had never seen someone eat sand before, and they wondered if he had simply lost his mind from extreme hunger. If he fell ill in the middle of a desert, it would be the end of him, a fact that prompted immediate mockery from viewers in other nations. They laughed, asking if the Republic's representative was some kind of comedian sent to entertain them before the end. It was a ridiculous sight. Even a monkey would starve in a day out here, yet here he was, treating the desert like a buffet. It seemed the Republic was destined for a dead last finish, and as our local viewers watched the mockery unfold, they found they didn't even have the heart to argue back. After all, while other nations sent athletes, we see that their own representative was this incredibly frail young man. But just then, a sudden announcement echoed across the wasteland. The first mission was scorching survival, requiring everyone to stay alive. For 7 full days, rankings would be decided by national luck, with corresponding rewards, or deadly penalties. Every time a player died, their entire nation would lose a year of life. Ethan, too, was startled awake by the voice and checked his devouring progress, only to find the rewards were diminishing. Eventually, his constitution only increased by a tiny fraction, hardly a feast, really, though he did gain a passive heat-resistant skill. This would at least help him survive the desert's brutal sun, so he decided it was time to move on. He stood up to search for opportunities, but the announcement system chimed once more with a grim update. A representative from another nation had already died, costing their country a year of life and 10 luck points. Then came another death notice for a second nation. This sudden wave of casualties immediately shocked everyone. Death was coming much faster than anyone expected. People rushed into the deceased players' live streams to see what happened, only to find a horrifying sight. Several fist-sized yellow ants were crawling over the bodies, slowly devouring what was left of them. The viewers watched in absolute horror, and who could blame them, really, as most had never seen such monstrous insects. It seemed like a death sentence for anyone who crossed them. Please, the Republic's fans prayed, don't let Ethan meet one. But their prayers went unanswered. Someone in the chat suddenly screamed, "Look behind Ethan, is that one of them?" To our collective horror, it was indeed a scorched earth beast. It seemed their luck had truly run out right at the start. They pleaded for Ethan to run, but he was simply walking forward, completely unaware of the predator at his back. With the scorched earth beast looming, the viewers could only watch the screen, powerless to warn their representative of the danger. They watched in horror as the beast bit down on Ethan. At that moment, it seemed like everything was truly over. The people of the Republic felt their hope fading. After all, they couldn't afford to lose any more of their precious lifespan. They blamed Ethan for his lack of awareness, but what happened next left every single viewer completely stunned. Instead of collapsing, Ethan simply turned around and crushed the creature under his heel with a casual stomp. Then, he picked up the remains and devoured them. Yes, he actually ate the monster that had just attacked him. This provided him with a boost to his strength, constitution, and speed, along with his very first evolution points. He even gained a level in poison resistance. While his countrymen were still blinking in disbelief, a sudden announcement flashed across the sky. Ethan was the first player to secure a kill, bringing glory and rewards to the Republic. The nation was rewarded with an extra year of life and 10 luck points. In an instant, the entire country erupted in pure joy. Our viewers were suddenly Ethan's biggest supporters, declaring themselves his most loyal fans. The mockery from before was forgotten. After all, who could argue with a man who just extended your life? It was truly hard to believe that someone so frail could be this formidable. But then, the viewers remembered the insults from foreign fans. It was time to head into their live streams and deliver a bit of well-earned karma. The rest of the world watched the announcement with a mix of dread and disbelief. How could the Republic take the lead? Other nations' representatives were now under immense pressure. They looked at Ethan and wondered if he was even human. To be honest, treating these monsters like afternoon snacks seemed a bit excessive, if not entirely insane. A single bite should have paralyzed him, yet Ethan showed no reaction. Some viewers even began to suspect foul play. But back in the wasteland, Ethan was far from finished. Even as several more beasts crawled onto his legs and began biting him frantically, he remained completely unbothered. To him, this wasn't a fight, it was a buffet. His hand shot out, snatching another scorched earth beast before he proceeded to devour it whole. This brought another round of stat boosts. Strength increased by 1, Constitution by 2, and Speed by 3. Along with an S-rank treasure chest, he consumed yet another beast, further bolstering his physical attributes. His evolution points grew as he secured an S-rank memory fragment. It was all happening quite fast. Before long, Ethan had finished off all 20 beasts, looking as though he were still waiting for the main course. Beyond the new items, he was most pleased to finally unlock the legendary Gluttony bloodline. He immediately funneled his evolution points into the bloodline, despite the system's warning of the excruciating pain to come. Deep down, he scoffed at the warning, wondering just how much a little evolution could possibly hurt. He told the system to bring it on, only to find himself rolling on the ground in agony a second later. Back in the live stream, we see the audience watching in horror as the situation takes a sudden, violent turn. Many wondered if he had finally succumbed to the poison. To be honest, eating 20 monsters was bound to have consequences. The people of the Republic were terrified that their representative might have literally eaten himself to death. Meanwhile, in a foreign broadcast, a famous survival expert named Dave was weighing in on the situation. Dave noted that while Ethan was certainly brave, he clearly lacked the most basic survival instincts. He explained that one simply cannot eat unknown creatures, predicting Ethan would be dead in less than a minute. And right on cue, as the minute passed, Ethan's body went completely still, lying motionless on the wasteland floor. The foreign viewers were ecstatic, praising Dave's expertise while mocking the Republic's representative for his apparent foolishness. They laughed at the idea of a hero who lacked even the most basic common sense. As the insults and mockery poured in from every corner of the globe, the critics were about to receive a rude awakening. Their jaws dropped in unison as Ethan, against all odds, slowly began to sit back up. A system notification rings out. Congratulations are in order, as the Gluttony bloodline has successfully awakened, granting him its legendary power. This SS rank ability allows him to consume virtually anything, and he even gains an exclusive skill called the Void Palm. Feeling the surge of power through his body, Ethan begins to look forward to what this game has in store, especially since everything here is edible. He wastes no more time and heads straight for the S-rank treasure chest, much to our surprise. The audience wonders if he's a walking corpse, driven by a hunger for the S-rank chest that transcends death itself. They speculate on what might be inside, perhaps food or water, while the citizens of the Republic discuss the matter with bated breath. But then, Ethan does something no one expected. We see him lean down and take a massive bite out of the S-rank chest itself. A loud metallic crunch echoes as his teeth leave a visible mark on the solid container. Some foreign viewers can't believe their eyes. They immediately burst into laughter, mocking him. They thought Ethan was a threat after killing those beasts, but now they aren't so sure. To them, it looks like Ethan has lost his mind. To be honest, they are starting to think he has turned into a mindless zombie. However, Ethan stops when a system prompt appears, forcing him to abandon his plan of devouring the chest whole. The system explains that unopened chests are protected by mysterious laws and are completely indestructible. A sensible rule, really. It advises him to open the chest before trying to eat it. Ethan grumbles, wishing he'd been told that before the chest nearly knocked his teeth out. He finally reaches out and opens the S-rank chest properly, revealing a high-tier S-rank weapon. He finds a Desert Eagle with 100 rounds of ammo, just as an announcement declares him the first to open a chest. Every citizen of the Republic is granted an extra year of life and 10 fortune points as the news hits every livestream. In the other chats, foreign viewers are absolutely livid. They can't believe the man who was just gnawing on a box actually won. It seems absurd that such a massive reward, a whole year of life, would go to someone who tried to eat the prize. One disgruntled viewer complains that despite their heritage, their foreign citizenship meant they missed out on the life extension. Meanwhile, the Republic is in a state of pure celebration, with many citizens expressing their absolute joy at Ethan's success. His family runs a supermarket, and they've decided that when Ethan returns, they'll make sure he finally eats his fill. Meanwhile, we see him playing with the weapon, the Desert Eagle he just found. He used to long for a weapon like this, and to be honest, if he had obtained one before, he would have been absolutely thrilled. But things are different now. Without a moment's hesitation, he takes a massive bite out of the Desert Eagle and swallows it whole. Devouring the S-rank weapon grants him 3 points in strength and 3 in constitution. He also gains 2 evolution points and a passive skill, Bronze Skin and Iron Bones. Nice. It seems he has unlocked yet another ability. After that, he turns his gaze back toward the S-rank treasure chest. A minute later, the entire chest has been eaten clean. Devouring the S-rank container grants him 2 more points in strength and 10 in constitution. He gains 2 more evolution points, along with a portable space skill, while his Bronze Skin and Iron Bones ability upgrades from level 1 to level 2. Seeing the portable space, his eyes light up. This is a truly valuable find, isn't it? After all, having a way to carry items easily will be incredibly convenient later on. Next, he pulls out the memory fragment from the scorched earth ant and begins to examine it. Through the ant's memories, he quickly learns that there is actually a water hole nearby. In a desert, water is the most precious resource. Without it, even the strongest warrior would eventually die of thirst. and so he begins walking toward that water hole. After all, sand and giant ants don't taste very good. He needs a change of flavor. Besides, where there is water in a desert, there are bound to be plenty of wild beasts. This means both his food and water are finally secured. He realizes that as long as he keeps eating, he can keep the Republic in the top spot. 10 minutes later, he has already covered most of the distance. Suddenly, the sharp crack of a gunshot catches his attention. He quickly scrambles over a nearby sand dune and witnesses a truly shocking scene. There, he sees a golden insect, a full meter in diameter, chasing a man armed with a submachine gun. This man is the contestant from the Northern Empire. Let's call him Ivan. Ivan's face is a mask of pure terror as he retreats, frantically firing his submachine gun at the massive golden bug. However, as the bullets strike the golden insect shell, they don't seem to cause the creature any harm whatsoever. The bullets do no damage. Once they run out, Ivan is so terrified he collapses to the ground. Very quickly, the golden beetle reaches him and, with one bite, sends him to meet his maker. A grim announcement follows. Ivan is dead. His nation loses a year of life expectancy and 10 points of luck. Back in the live stream, everyone is paralyzed with shock. They simply cannot believe what they just witnessed. How could a level 1 golden beetle have such incredible defense? Not even bullets could pierce its body. Some viewers criticize Ivan's weak resolve, noting how he collapsed in fear at the worst possible moment. Others worry for Ethan. Why is he just watching? If that beetle spots him, it's all over. However, seeing him remain perfectly still gives them a small sense of relief. He just needs to wait for this golden beetle to leave, and he can continue his journey safely. But at this moment, he is already calculating how to kill it. He quickly allocates his remaining evolution points into his gluttony bloodline. When he sees his strength has reached 40 points, even he is taken aback. His power is now 5 times greater than when he first arrived. Combined with his rending claw skill, he could likely crush solid iron. Why should he be afraid now? Without a second thought, he leaps from the dune and charges straight toward the golden beetle. The beetle, busy scavenging Ivan's remains, immediately drops its meal and turns its attention toward Ethan. It lunges at him. Watching this, the audience back home feels the atmosphere grow heavy with dread. They fear it's the end. Ethan might have a powerful stomach, but they worry his body can't take this. Run, Ethan, they scream. Bullets couldn't even scratch that thing. Don't try to fight it. He has no way of seeing their comments, of course. He quickly reaches the beetle's side, and on his right hand, an invisible claw begins to manifest, carrying a terrifying momentum as he strikes the beetle. With a sickening thud, a massive, bloody hole is torn right through the golden beetle's armored body. The creature dies instantly, and Ethan, showing no hesitation whatsoever, begins his meal right then and there. Our viewers in the live stream are completely stunned before the chat erupts in a frenzy of excitement. They wonder if he's some legendary master of physical cultivation, since bullets couldn't even scratch that shell. And yet, Ethan managed to crush it with a single strike. It seems the Forbidden Zone has a new king. However, the people of the Northern Empire are far from pleased with what they've just witnessed. They claim Ethan was being far too cold-hearted, watching from the sidelines while their own hero perished. They even demand compensation for their lost life expectancy, which, to be honest, is a bit of a stretch. Naturally, Ethan's supporters aren't about to take that line down, quickly firing back at the critics. They tell them to be quiet since their player was so weak, and that Ethan actually avenged him. It was, in their eyes, a favor that the Northern Empire should probably be thanking him for. It takes Ethan about 5 minutes to finish devouring the beetle, after which he turns his gaze elsewhere. He spots the discarded submachine gun and, without a second thought, decides to make that his dessert. Meanwhile, in another part of the desert, a player named Arthur is cautiously approaching a small oasis. But before he can even reach the water, a golden beetle and a massive serpent begin moving toward him. Arthur is quite experienced. However, in the moment he sees the giant snake, he knows better than to stay. He turns and bolts without a moment's hesitation, much to the frustration of his own nation's viewers. After fleeing for a considerable distance, Arthur finally stops to look back at the oasis. He realizes the snake isn't actually pursuing him anymore and takes a moment to catch his breath. He opens the global chat to announce he's found water, asking if anyone wants to team up. He offers to share the water if they kill the snake together, and someone quickly agrees to the deal. As for Ethan, he had just finished his meal and decided to head to the pool for a drink. After all, one can't live on food alone. Before long, the oasis comes into view, and we see 7 other players from various nations already gathered there. However, only 3 are still standing on the shore, while the other 4 lie on the ground, their fates unknown. A player from the British Federation notices Ethan's arrival and wonders aloud how such a scrawny human could survive out here. He even jokes that Ethan might just be a local desert creature, while a nearby player from Japan notes that he looks like he's from China. But because he's so thin and ragged, the man admits it's actually a bit difficult to be certain. A player from Korea joins in with a quiet sneer, questioning why someone so weak would even dare to approach the water. The British player, Charles, observes that Ethan seems a bit off, but figures he'll inevitably clash with the giant snake. He suggests they use Ethan as a distraction. While the snake is busy with him, they can seize the opportunity to grab some water. It's a cold plan, but they realize their current supplies won't last much longer in this heat. Meanwhile, Ethan's home livestream is a scene of pure excitement, with fans cheering for him to absolutely demolish the serpent. Some are betting he'll end the fight in 3 moves, while others wonder if he'll just start eating the snake right on the spot. They remind him not to forget to plant the national flag in the oasis, showing complete confidence in his overwhelming power. And yet, they can't help but worry about his state of mind, given how unconventional his actions have been so far. To be honest, when a man only seems to care about his next meal, it's natural to be a little concerned as he reaches the shore. Just then, a massive, 10-meter-long serpent erupts from the depths, its jaws wide open to strike. Instead of dodging, Ethan simply extends his right arm, almost as if he's inviting the beast to take a bite. The snake clamps down on his entire arm, clearly intending to swallow him whole as a loud collision echoes. But Ethan's body isn't crushed. Instead, he prepares to unleash his Void Rift ability from right inside the creature's mouth. In an instant, his claws shatter the serpent's head, leaving the massive body to thrash uselessly on the ground. The beast is dead, but Ethan doesn't start his meal immediately. Instead, he turns his gaze toward the other players. He decides it's best to drive them away first, so he begins walking slowly toward the three of them. The remaining players are absolutely stunned by what they've just witnessed, a B-rank serpent defeated so easily. To be honest, seeing Ethan kill it in a single blow makes them wonder if he's even human at all. The players from Korea and Japan don't stick around to find out. They turn and bolt the moment Ethan approaches. Charles, the British player, tries to flee as well, but his stamina is gone, so he raises his rifle instead. He opens fire, but even as the bullets strike Ethan's body, they don't seem to cause any damage whatsoever. Ethan doesn't even slow down. The bullets simply bounce off him as if he were made of solid iron. Charles stands there in total despair, while Ethan narrows his eyes. He hadn't actually intended for this to be lethal. Originally, he only wanted to scare them off so they wouldn't interfere with his plans for the oasis. But since Charles chose to attack first, Ethan decides that he simply cannot let such a provocation slide. He tells himself there's no reason to be merciful now, and with a single, heavy strike, he ends the confrontation. The British player is killed instantly, and a system-wide announcement soon echoes across the entire desert. While the British fans are understandably furious, the viewers back home are filled with a mix of pride and excitement. However, that excitement is quickly replaced by a new worry. What if Ethan doesn't actually know how to swim? It's a valid concern, as many people these days never learn, and the fans desperately hope they aren't jinxing him. After all, it would be quite an awkward turn of events if our hero survived the snake only to drown. We see the audience watching with bated breath as Ethan walks back toward the water, fearing the absolute worst. But Ethan doesn't jump in. He simply leans over the edge of the pool and begins to drink his fill. By drinking the water, he manages to obtain a very specific and necessary new ability. After gaining the swimming skill, Ethan finally breathes a sigh of relief because, to be honest, he actually had no idea how to swim. However, he isn't satisfied just yet and continues to drink, his body acting like a bottomless pit that frantically absorbs the water, and before long, several tons of it have disappeared into his stomach. We hear the system congratulate him as his swimming skill levels up from 1 to 2, and then he stops drinking for a moment, deciding it's better to plant his country's flag in the center of the pool first. He tells himself that if he accidentally drinks the entire oasis dry, it might cause some rather awkward problems. After all, an empty hole in the ground isn't much of a resource, so he leaps into the water and swims to the center. Suddenly, a global announcement echoes. Ethan has occupied the oasis, and 100 similar pools will now appear in his homeland. His nation's luck increases by 30 points, and since he is the first to secure a resource, all the sick in his country are instantly and fully cured, a miracle that begins to transform the entire nation in the blink of an eye. We see cancer patients with tears of joy on their faces, while those who were bedridden for years find themselves leaping out of bed with newfound energy, a single moment that restores the lives of tens of millions of people. Those who were once in total despair are now weeping with happiness, while Ethan, seeing that the rewards have been delivered, simply continues drinking from the middle of the pool, completely unaware of what is happening nearby. Not far from the oasis, a massive amount of steel suddenly begins to erupt from another man's body. A figure entirely encased in heavy metal armor emerges, declaring that he has finally awakened his true talent. He vows that Ethan's luck has run out, while back in the UK, the viewers watching their player awaken such a powerful ability are absolutely losing their minds with excitement and disbelief. They wonder if they are looking at a real-life Iron Man, marveling at how incredible the suit looks as they urge him to find Ethan. Ethan is calmly drinking his water, but he's also keeping a close eye on the global chat channel. We see that 2 other players have awakened their talents, including a UK player with a high-tech metal suit. Another has gained the power of fire, turning into a living inferno, and both of them possess fearsome combat abilities, capable of slaying a level 1 beast alone without any difficulty whatsoever. Learning that they are teaming up to hunt him actually piques Ethan's interest. He wonders what that metal suit tastes like. He even considers that chewing on a captain's shield might be quite a treat, to be perfectly honest. He decides to wait for his guests to arrive, while back home, the viewers are becoming increasingly anxious. They are well aware that the Iron Man and Fireman are closing in, and they worry for Ethan's safety. Some fans admit they usually enjoy the Armored Heroes movies, but this time, they are rooting for their own. One viewer even vows to buy an Ethan figurine if he survives, just as the system levels his swimming to 3. Ethan looks at the remaining water and sighs, feeling that his current devouring speed is still a bit too slow. His mouth is only so big, after all, and he wishes he could just swallow the entire pool in one go. Half an hour later, the oasis is nearly drained when a mechanical figure suddenly appears in the sky. On the ground, a man wreathed in flames is sprinting toward the water. The hunters have finally arrived. They plan to eliminate Ethan together, and the armored player fires several missiles before he even reaches the shore. The rockets streak toward the center of the pool, leaving the viewers back home in a state of total panic. We see the deep concern on their faces as they watch the screen, fearing the worst for their champion. Ethan's position is now incredibly dangerous, as ordinary bullets might not hurt him, but these missiles are another story. We've already witnessed their power, seeing them blow apart level 1 beasts with terrifying ease. With a fire wielder also joining the attack, the situation has become a desperate fight for survival. It seems the UK Federation isn't interested in a fair fight, opting for a 2-on-1 sneak attack. Very well, then. As the missiles scream toward him, Ethan reaches out a hand and catches one midair, a bold move, to say the least. A massive explosion follows, leaving Ethan standing there completely unharmed, though his clothes have unfortunately seen better days. He had actually planned to eat the missile, but it detonated on contact, leaving him with nothing but a slight itch on his palm. While his body is indestructible, his wardrobe is not, so he decides to step out of the empty pool and head for the shore. The armored player, Marcus, watches in disbelief as his high-tech weaponry fails to leave even a scratch on Ethan. He wonders what kind of talent could possibly make a human body so incredibly durable. It defies all logic, really. Still, he isn't overly concerned, as he still has his teammate, the fire wielder, by his side to finish the job. He reasons that no matter how tough Ethan's skin is, he must be vulnerable to the searing heat of a living inferno. Marcus calls out to his partner on the ground, suggesting that he engage Ethan in close combat while Marcus provides air support. He promises that once Ethan is dealt with, they will split the precious water from the oasis 50-50. But before Marcus can even finish his proposal, he is struck by a sight that leaves him utterly speechless. We see his confusion as he looks down at the oasis, or rather, the giant, empty hole where the water used to be. The fire wielder, Jake, notices the dry pit as well and shoots a suspicious look up at his armored companion. Marcus knows he can't afford to lose his ally now, as taking on Ethan alone would be a suicide mission. He quickly explains that the photo he shared earlier wasn't a lie. The pool was definitely overflowing with water just moments ago. There is only one logical explanation. Ethan must have found a way to take every single drop for himself. He convinces Jake that Ethan must be carrying a high-level storage item, and killing him is the only way to claim the prize. Jake decides to trust him one last time, and with a roar of flames, he launches himself toward our protagonist. At the same time, Marcus prepares another volley of missiles from the sky, determined to end this fight once and for all. Ethan watches as the missiles head straight for him, choosing to let them strike while he focuses on the fire wielder. As he charges forward, Sarah unleashes a massive torrent of flames, hoping to incinerate him where he stands. He simply offers a small smile, as if thanking her for the meal, before opening his mouth wide. He begins to inhale the inferno, devouring the flames to unlock a brand new skill, fire immunity. The fire vanishes into his gullet, leaving him grinning and clearly wanting a second helping. Sarah is understandably furious, declaring that if he wants to play with fire, she'll be happy to oblige. She vows to show him the true agony of burning, and a massive sphere of heat begins to condense before her. While she hurls the giant fireball, Marcus isn't just watching. He fires a high-intensity laser from his palm. Ethan doesn't take this lightly, meeting the incoming laser with his powerful void claw technique. With a sharp grunt, he scatters the laser, though he notices a slight numbness in his hand afterward. It seems Marcus's laser actually has some kick to it, but Ethan simply shrugs it off and charges through the fireball. He reaches Sarah in an instant, and though she tries to retreat, she quickly realizes she's far too slow. He catches her after only a few steps, only to realize, to his slight embarrassment, that the fire wielder is actually a woman. To be fair, with her entire body wreathed in flames, it was nearly impossible to tell who was underneath. Feeling a bit awkward, he pulls back slightly and warns her that he'll let go, provided she doesn't try to run. She lets out a cold snort and calls him a pervert, but Ethan has already turned his attention elsewhere. He looks up at Marcus, hovering above, and asks if he isn't getting tired of flying around like a bird. Seeing his partner subdued so effortlessly, Marcus's expression sours as he realizes the situation has turned dire. Marcus dares him to come up and get him, prompting a confident smile from Ethan as he accepts the challenge. He's determined to strip Marcus of that fancy armor, betting that its energy reserves aren't nearly as infinite as they seem. Hearing Ethan's taunt, Marcus's expression shifts instantly, as we see that his high-tech suit's energy is actually quite limited. It turns out he needs time to recharge, meaning he simply cannot stay suspended in the air forever. With a cold snort, Marcus retorts that if he's given just a bit more time, he can summon his Mark II armor. He vows that even if Ethan's body were made of solid steel, that new suit would pierce right through him. Ethan's eyes light up at the mention of a Mark II suit. To him, that just sounds like a more substantial meal. He tells Marcus that sounds wonderful and jokingly asks if he can summon some infinity stones to snack on as well. Marcus is absolutely livid at the disrespect, telling Ethan to just wait and see what happens next. He then hits the thrusters and beats a hasty retreat, leaving the home country viewers back in the real world absolutely ecstatic. They cheer for Ethan, thrilled to see the legendary Iron Man flee in terror while Sarah remains captured. It's quite a sight. The supposedly invincible armored hero didn't even have the courage to face Ethan in a fair fight. We see Ethan watching Marcus fly away without giving chase, mostly because he hasn't quite mastered the art of flight yet. Catching a jet-powered suit on foot is a bit of a tall order, so he decides to let Marcus keep the armor, for now. He turns his gaze back towards Sarah, but before he can say a word, a sudden system announcement flashes before them. A new mission is starting. In 3 hours, a rain of fire will descend, bringing with it powerful fire spirit beasts. For 1 hour, hunters can earn points by slaying these creatures, with personal rewards waiting for those at the top. Ethan doesn't pay the announcement much mind, focusing instead on Sarah and the debt she now owes him. He explains that while he won't kill her, he can't exactly let her walk away after she tried to take his life. There is a price for her actions, and right now, that price is her fire. He asks if she plans to refuse. Sarah asks dryly if a refusal would even make a difference, knowing full well she's at his mercy. Without another word, Ethan steps close to her and begins to hungrily absorb her flames, and within a minute, the fire begins to fade. We see the flames on Sarah's body begin to dwindle, and she panics, shouting for Ethan to stop. He ignores her pleas, continuing to drain her power even as she begins to lash out in desperation. To be honest, he only wants her fire, but since she's resisting, he warns her to stay still. "Don't fight me," he says coldly, "or I'll end this right now." Sarah falls silent, staring at him. The last of the flames flicker out under Ethan's relentless absorption until they vanish completely. Sarah's eyes go wide with shock as she realizes her elemental protection has been stripped away entirely. She remains frozen and expressionless, staring at Ethan as the reality of her situation finally sinks in. Meanwhile, the home country livestream is absolutely boiling over because of the scene unfolding before them. They wonder why Sarah is covered in digital mosaics, as if the system itself is censoring her nakedness. Ethan, catching sight of the unexpected situation, finds himself completely frozen for a long, awkward moment. Deep down, he's a bit flustered. It's not every day he finds himself in such a stimulating position. Sarah is, after all, a world-class beauty, and Ethan can only offer a sheepish, embarrassed smile. He suggests she should probably conjure some fire back up, noting that standing there naked is hardly ideal. Sarah calmly explains that since he's drained every drop of her energy, she can't summon a single spark. She'll need at least an hour to recover, leaving Ethan to chuckle awkwardly and tell her to just rest. Leaving her be, he turns his attention to the giant snake, deciding it's finally time for his main course. He has no intention of killing Sarah, but he isn't exactly ready to let his prisoner walk away either. With the rain of fire approaching, he needs to boost his fire immunity, so he begins devouring the serpent. It takes a solid half hour of eating before the snake is gone, leaving behind a gleaming treasure chest. Ethan is thrilled as the system confirms his gains, 5 points to strength, 10 to constitution, and more speed. We see his stats climb. Speed increases by 5, agility by 3, and he gains 10 evolution points plus the slither skill. Just as he prepares to open the treasure chest and then devour it, Sarah approaches him, asking if he can spare some water. Ethan agrees to give her water, but asks what she has to offer in exchange, causing Sarah's expression to shift into one of irritation. She asks angrily if seeing her body wasn't enough, or if he expects her to give herself to him as well. In the past, he might have been thrilled by such a beauty, but things are different now. His focus is solely on rewards. To be honest, everything else is just a distraction, especially since this is a live stream, and he has no interest in a scandal. He calmly tells her that he isn't interested in her body, which is a bit of a blow to her ego. He suggests she can simply owe him, promising to collect the debt the next time their paths happen to cross. However, he warns her that if she has nothing then, he'll take as much fire from her as the water she drinks now. Sarah is understandably fuming, insulted that a man she considers quite plain would dare to look down on her world-class beauty. But with thirst clawing at her throat, she has no choice but to endure the slight and accept his offer. She demands the water, but then stares in confusion as he opens his mouth, wondering exactly what he's doing. He directs her to the water basin he's filled, telling her to find him once her flames have finally recovered. He'll need her fire for his next upgrade, and after refilling the basin, he makes his way over to the shore. There, he opens the level 1 treasure chest, only to find a level 1 skateboard inside, a rather unexpected prize. Back in the real world, the livestream audience is completely baffled by the sight of a skateboard coming from a treasure chest. They wonder if he's expected to skate on sand, but since Ethan will likely just eat the item anyway, it hardly matters. To their surprise, Ethan looks at the skateboard with genuine joy, seeing it as a perfectly valid tool for his journey. He then begins to devour the chest itself to upgrade his storage space, gaining 10 points to his constitution and 10 evolution points. His portable storage space reaches level 2, and just as he begins to inspect the new upgrades, something catches his eye. Just as Ethan is inspecting his newly upgraded storage space, a sudden announcement grabs everyone's attention regarding the Southern Realm. A player there has died of heat stroke, causing his entire nation to lose a year of their lifespan and 10 points of national luck. He is the first player to succumb to the heat, and even if he were to return, it's likely he would eventually suffer the same fate. He would simply die of heat stroke again, leaving the Southern Realm in serious trouble while other players face their own struggles. Although they haven't died of heat stroke yet, many are on the verge of dying from thirst, frantically searching for any sign of water. We find that dozens of players have gathered around the pool where Ethan is resting, and they are currently debating how to take him down. They want to kill Ethan to claim the water for themselves, but they know his strength is quite abnormal, making ordinary weapons completely useless. One player asks if anyone found a high-level weapon in a chest, boasting that he has acquired a deadly poison dagger. He believes that by combining this with his invisibility skill, he can definitely find a way to eliminate the powerhouse from the Central Kingdom. This overconfident individual is the player from the Eastern Isles, who has awakened a specific talent for ninjutsu. With his ability to turn invisible and the poison dagger he looted from a scorpion, he feels practically invincible as he begins his approach. While he creeps closer, we see Ethan is focused on absorbing the energy from Sarah's flames to further his own power. A notification chimes in his mind, congratulating him as Sarah's flame essence helps him reach a new level of strength. Feeling quite satisfied with the progress, Ethan calmly tells Sarah that she is free to leave for now. He reminds her not to forget her debt next time, and Sarah simply huffs before turning away from the pool. She knows that as more players awaken their talents, they will inevitably flock to this location to try and kill Ethan for his resources. To be honest, she highly doubts that even Ethan can handle a dozen awakened players attacking him all at once. After she leaves, Ethan checks the clock and sees there is only half an hour left before the first survival mission officially begins. While others might see this as a terrifying crisis, Ethan views it as nothing more than a fresh delivery of exotic snacks about to arrive. He can't help but wonder what a swallow spirit beast tastes like, or what grand rewards await the player who takes first place. As Ethan drifts off into a light sleep, the viewers back in the Central Kingdom can't help but feel a surge of anxiety rising. You see, the player from the Eastern Isles is currently creeping in with a lethal poison dagger, and Ethan remains blissfully unaware. He's still fast asleep, which is a bit of a problem, to say the least. As we've likely noticed by now, that dagger is no joke. It previously took down a level 1 beast instantly, even the toughest. Golden beetle shells can be corroded by its venom, leaving everyone wondering if Ethan can actually survive such a strike. By now, the assassin has reached a spot just a few feet away, when he sees Ethan lost in dreams. A triumphant smile spreads across his face. It's as if the heavens themselves are handing him this victory on a silver platter. Subsequently, the ninja closes the distance step by step. Once he's standing right over Ethan, he raises his weapon, plunging the dark green blade directly toward Ethan's chest. With a sharp, metallic clink, the dagger actually makes contact and pierces his skin. Ethan feels a sudden, sharp sting, though to him, it feels more like a pesky mosquito bite than a mortal wound. He wonders briefly if there are mosquitoes in the desert before instinctively swatting at the pest. Then, a sudden announcement rings out. The Central Kingdom player has slain the challenger from the Eastern Isles. Consequently, his entire nation loses a year of life and national luck is reduced by 10 points. Ethan looks out at the empty desert, his expression shifting slightly as he realizes that mosquito might have been something else entirely. Was that actually the rival player? Just then, with a soft thud, the dark green dagger falls from his body and hits the ground. Without a moment's hesitation, Ethan decides the best way to dispose of the evidence is to simply eat the dagger. By devouring the level 1 venomous blade, his constitution increases by 2, he gains 10 evolution points, and his poison resistance levels up. After processing his latest meal, he invests all his new points into his Taotai bloodline. A crisp notification confirms he has obtained the talent skill, Heaven's Devourer. With this, he can now swallow down incredibly large portions of food in a single gulp. Looking at his new ability, Ethan is genuinely delighted. This is exactly what he's been wanting. Now he can truly finish off a giant beast in one bite. And just as he is quietly celebrating his good fortune, something else catches his eye. Another announcement rings out. The survival mission, Active Descent, has officially begun, and it will last for 1 full hour, after which the final rankings will be determined. As the announcement fades, we see the sky instantly turn a deep, ominous red, followed by a rain of fire. At the same time, a pack of swallow spirit beast begins to spawn. Within just 3 minutes of this fiery downpour, players from dozens of nations have already met their end. Meanwhile, Ethan looks quite miserable, simply because his current location is a safe zone. Our viewers back in the Central Kingdom breathe a collective sigh of relief. Some have even been checking other live streams and reported that every single drop of this fire rain is lethal. It burns through anything it touches. Apparently, even a high-tech suit of armor wouldn't stand a chance. It truly feels like the heavens are watching over our hero, placing Ethan in a safe zone to keep him from being incinerated. However, Ethan himself is currently pointing at the sky with great urgency, asking if the heavens are looking down on him. He's actually demanding that the fire rain fall on him as well. Hearing this, the Central Kingdom viewers are so stunned their jaws practically hit the floor. They're begging him to be just a little more humble for once. Right then, the individual points leaderboard finally updates. A player from the United Federation has taken the lead with 10 points, claiming the top spot. Naturally, the United Federation's chat is overflowing with pride and excitement. Their champion is taking down those swallow spirit beasts with just a few well-placed shots. They're convinced that at this rate, their nation will easily secure first place, while mocking Ethan's lack of progress. As the minutes tick by, their leader has already slain 3 beasts, cementing his lead. Ethan, meanwhile, is reaching his breaking point, convinced that the universe is intentionally ignoring him. After all, he hasn't seen a single drop of fire rain yet. He silently vows that one day, he'll find a way to devour the heavens themselves. Not wanting to waste another second, he pulls out the skateboard he acquired earlier. With a powerful kick, he's suddenly flying across the desert. Before long, Ethan can already see the fire rain falling in the distance, so he immediately heads toward that direction. In less than a minute, he reaches the edge of the storm and plunges into the fire rain without a second thought. He tilts his head back and begins catching the drops with his mouth. 3 minutes later, he's consumed dozens of them. Suddenly, notifications chime. His flame immunity and temperature resistance have both been upgraded. Yes, by drinking fire. Next, he begins sprinting through the fire rain, searching for swallow spirit beasts. After all, killing them is the only way to earn points for the leaderboard, and he's already decided that first place belongs to him. At this moment, everyone watching the stream is absolutely stunned to see Ethan literally drinking the fire rain. They wonder if his mouth is made of gold. But while they are busy being shocked, Ethan is already on the move. His supporters know that once he decides to act, the top spot is practically guaranteed. After searching for a while, he finally spots a swallow spirit beast running through the flames. Without a moment's delay, he charges straight toward the creature. The beast notices him and, showing no hesitation of its own, lunges forward to meet him. Just then, a status panel for the Swallow Spirit Beast appears before our eyes. It's a level 1 Swallow Spirit Beast, a creature composed entirely of flames that can breathe fire from its mouth. Every inch of its body carries the fire attribute, meaning any physical contact will result in severe burns. However, seeing it's only level 1, Ethan isn't worried at all. He's more curious about his new skill, Heaven Devouring. He wonders just how effective this talent will be in a real fight, which, naturally, we are about to find out. Meanwhile, the viewers in the chat have seen the beast's description and have begun a heated debate. They start guessing how many moves it will take for Ethan to take down this fiery opponent. Since the beast is made of pure flame and lacks a physical head, they assume it will be quite a challenge. Most believe it will take at least 3 to 5 attacks, while others are betting on which hand he'll use. One viewer even bets he'll perform a rather disgusting handstand stunt if Ethan succeeds. Meanwhile, international viewers are also watching Ethan's stream, boasting that the British Union's Iron Man has already taken down 5 beasts. They mock the fact that Ethan hasn't made a single kill yet, noting that even their champion takes a full minute to finish off a single beast. They assume Ethan will be just as slow, if not slower. After all, they believe there aren't enough beasts in this area for him to actually find and kill. And so, under the watchful eyes of the world, Ethan finally acts. What follows is a moment that leaves the viewers completely speechless. It is, without a doubt, the most exaggerated display of power we have seen so far. As the beast attacks, Ethan simply opens his mouth impossibly wide and swallows the entire creature in one swift motion. To put this in perspective, these beasts are the size of a lion. Ethan essentially just ate a lion whole, which is unusual. The chat is in an absolute frenzy, with people questioning if they've gone blind. They can't believe something that massive was just consumed in a single bite. They are left wondering what kind of mouth Ethan actually possesses. Is this the legendary heaven-devouring talent? It's a terrifying thought. Meanwhile, members of the international audience are so shocked they look like they're on the verge of a heart attack. Several nations are already sending letters. They are reaching out with friendly messages, terrified that Ethan might decide to treat their own contestants like his next meal. As Ethan finishes his snack, the system notifications begin to chime. He has successfully devoured the level 1 Swallow Spirit Beast. His strength increases by 5, constitution by 10, and both his speed and agility gain 5 points each. He gains 20 evolution points, the Flame Breath skill, and 10 points for the leaderboard. He even manages to obtain a level 1 treasure chest and an upgrade to his flame immunity. It was a very rewarding meal, to say the least. Hearing these notifications, Ethan is understandably delighted. The rewards are even better than he expected, so he doesn't linger. He immediately begins searching for his next target. It doesn't take long before he spots a second Swallow Spirit Beast nearby. He repeats his little trick, opening his mouth wide to swallow another level 1 Swallow Spirit Beast whole. Once again, his strength increases by 5, constitution by 10, and both speed and agility gain 5 points. He earns 20 evolution points and 10 leaderboard points, even snagging a level 2 chest and a skill upgrade. As the journey continues, we see the individual leaderboard begin to shift. Our protagonist, Ethan, reaches 20 points, overtaking the British Union's champion for first place. In the British livestream, the viewers' expressions turn quite sour at the sight. To be honest, they look a bit ill. They wonder how Ethan killed 2 beasts so quickly, and by eating them, no less. To them, he is simply a monster. They urge their Iron Man to hurry and reclaim the top spot. At that moment, Iron Man notices the change in the rankings himself. He isn't pleased. He silently vows to overtake Ethan, speeding up his search for more beasts. However, just as he finds his 6th target, the leaderboard shifts once more. Ethan is holding steady at 50 points, while the British contestant manages to tie for first. Iron Man breathes a sigh of relief, thinking he's caught up, but a second later, his expression sours. Ethan's points are suddenly skyrocketing, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 100. In just a few short minutes, Ethan's score has hit the 100-point mark, while Iron Man has only just finished his 6th kill. His confidence shatters. He can't fathom how this is possible. He wonders if the beasts on Ethan's side are simply appearing in massive clusters. Meanwhile, we see Ethan sprinting through the rain of fire. Whenever a beast appears, he simply swallows it. No combat required, which is, frankly, a bit of a cheat code. Back in the home live stream, the audience is absolutely ecstatic. Ethan is truly putting on a show. Ethan is truly the pride of his nation. Compared to him, Iron Man looks like a little brother. Back home, the fans are declaring him their new idol, cheering him on with everything they've got. They want him to secure that top spot and show the world exactly what he's capable of. 10 minutes later, Ethan's score has climbed to 300, leaving Iron Man trailing far behind at a mere 100. The other contestants haven't even broken 50 points yet. At this stage, Iron Man has effectively given up on the lead. He decides to focus solely on the Spirit Beasts to secure a high rank, knowing the rewards are still worth the effort. If he can't be first, second is a decent consolation prize. Meanwhile, Ethan has actually stopped hunting the beasts. Instead, he finds a spot to start devouring the falling fire rain. It is, after all, a rare opportunity. He realizes it can boost his fire immunity and refuses to let it go to waste. So, he stands there, mouth wide open. He begins swallowing the fire rain as it pours from the sky. With every gulp, his fire immunity begins to climb. His temperature resistance increases steadily as he continues this rather unusual snack. It's quite the sight, really. His constitution and evolution points tick upward. As he continues, the system notifications keep chiming in his head. The audience watching back home doesn't quite know whether to laugh or cry at this bizarre display. They wonder what on earth Ethan is doing. Shouldn't he be focusing on the hunt right now? Even with a massive lead, they worry someone might catch up. However, they soon realize their fears are entirely groundless. The other contestants are moving so slowly that catching Ethan is mathematically impossible. Even if Ethan doesn't kill another beast, his first-place position is as solid as a rock. 20 minutes later, the fire rain finally ceases. By the time the sky clears, his fire immunity has reached level 6, and then that familiar system voice returns. It congratulates him on his progress and announces that he has unlocked a brand new ability. He has gained a fire control talent. His eyes light up at the potential. This changes everything for him. He wonders if he can truly control flames now. To find out, he reaches out his right hand to test this new talent. A ball of fire immediately condenses in his palm. With just a thought, the flames begin to shift and change shape. One moment, it's a fireball, the next a soaring dragon, then a phoenix. It's quite the display, to be honest. He is more than satisfied with the results, as this talent far outclasses his old flame spray. Meanwhile, the individual points leaderboard is finalized, and we see Ethan taking the top spot with a staggering 300 points. In second place is Iron Man with 150 points, followed by Victor in third. Victor finishes with 80 points, while Ken takes fourth with 70. Finally, in fifth place is Mike, who managed to secure 60 points. As the rankings are finalized, the system's voice echoes across the world once more. It announces that the survival mission, Fire Rain Descends, has officially concluded, and it's time for the rewards to be distributed. For his first-place finish, Ethan is awarded a powerful SSS rank talent enhancement card for his future growth. He also receives an SSS rank treasure chest, while his nation gains 3 years of life expectancy and 50 luck points. Iron Man, securing second place, is also awarded an SSS rank talent enhancement card for his efforts. He receives an SSS rank chest as well, while his nation sees a 1-year increase in life expectancy. His country's national luck also increases by 20. Meanwhile, Victor in third place receives an S-rank talent enhancement card. Along with an S-rank chest, his nation gains 6 months of life expectancy for his solid performance. His country also gains 10 points of national luck. In fourth place, Ken earns an A-rank talent enhancement card. He also receives an A-rank chest, and his nation's life expectancy is extended by 3 months. His country's national luck increases by 5. Finally, Mike in fifth place receives a B-rank talent enhancement card. He receives a B-rank chest as well, while his nation gains 1 month of life expectancy. His country's national luck also increases by 3. Finally, the system warns that all players outside the top 5 will face penalties. A month of life and 5 luck points are deducted. As the announcement echoes, the national livestream room erupts into total chaos. The viewers are ecstatic. 3 years of life is an incredible windfall. Ethan has certainly become the man of the hour. Fans are calling him a legend, claiming they'll defend his honor against anyone. It's a bit dramatic, but we understand the sentiment. They are all eager to see what those SSS rank rewards will actually yield. Meanwhile, the foreign live streams tell a different story. There is nothing but wailing and despair, particularly from the countries that failed to secure a spot in the top 5. Losing a month of life without any reward is a bitter pill to swallow. Naturally, the citizens are turning their frustrations toward their players. Insults fly wildly in the chat rooms. At the same time, we see Ethan calmly reviewing the rewards the system has granted him. First up is that SSS rank talent enhancement card. It offers a choice: upgrade an existing talent or awaken a brand new SSS rank 1. After reading the description, Ethan pauses to consider his options. It's a significant decision, to be sure. He weighs the benefits of strengthening what he has versus gaining something entirely new. Eventually, he makes a choice. He decides to hold on to the card for now, saving it for a rainy day. Next, he turns his attention to the SSS rank chest. As the lid opens, a brilliant golden light fills the room, revealing a magnificent golden long sword resting before him. He has acquired the SSS rank weapon known as the Godslayer Blade. It's a weapon of legendary status, to be sure. The description claims it can cut down the gods themselves, possessing indestructible sharpness and a very special passive ability. The Armor Break skill allows him to ignore half of any enemy's defense. Ethan's eyes light up as he examines the stats. It's a magnificent piece of equipment. Yet, a moment later, he simply tucks it away into his personal storage space. You see, for Ethan, the blade's true value isn't in combat. It's in its nutritional value. He intends to consume it. He wonders just how many attribute points an SSS rank weapon will provide him. The thought alone is quite exciting. However, he decides to save this particular snack for later. Moving on, he begins to look through the rest of his haul. From his earlier battle with the Flame Spirits, he managed to collect 10 level 1 chests and 5 level 2 ones. He has 3 level 2 chests, 1 level 3, and 1 level 4. He plans to consume them all to upgrade his portable storage space. Acting immediately, he begins opening them. He opens the chests and devours everything inside. Consuming a level 1 flame arrow, his strength increases by 3 points, his constitution by 3, and his evolution points by 5. Next, he devours a level 1 flame armor, gaining 5 more points and 10 evolution points. Then, devouring a level 3 flame shield, his constitution jumps by 20, along with 20 evolution points. His flame resistance also levels up significantly. Consuming the level 4 flame battle armor, his constitution and evolution points both increase by 30. His flame resistance levels up again, and he gains a passive skill, flame absorption. Half an hour later, he has finally finished his unusual meal. Now, we see him begin to devour the empty chests themselves. He uses the remaining energy to further expand his portable storage, a process that requires quite a bit of focus. The system interface flickers as it processes the massive influx of data and energy from his. Slowly, the dimensions of his personal pocket dimension begin to shift and stabilize into a new form. With the upgrade complete, we can finally see the impressive results of his hard work and his iron stomach. His portable space has now expanded to a massive 1,000 cubic meters. It's quite a spacious upgrade, to be honest. It can store anything, including living creatures, and time inside flows 10 times slower than in the outside world. Ethan's eyes light up when he sees this. The ability to store living things is a game changer. With time moving so slowly, he realizes he could store fresh food in there almost indefinitely. The prospect of a permanent fresh pantry is genuinely exciting. His attention then shifts toward the horizon. With the current event concluded, it's time to hunt for more food. He hops onto his hoverboard and sets off. As he traverses the desert, he soon spots a group of people in the distance, the very same ones who were plotting against him. We see a group of contestants gathered together, whispering in hushed tones as Ethan quietly approaches. Curious about their scheme, he listens in. One man declares that Ethan is simply too powerful for any of them alone. They believe they must unite to stand any chance of killing him. After all, numbers should trump individual strength. He couldn't possibly defeat so many of them at once. Once he's gone, they plan to divide his resources among themselves. In total, representatives from 20 different nations have gathered here, all sharing the same goal, taking Ethan down. It's a bold plan, if a bit suicidal. Ethan finds it almost amusing that they think a mob can stop him. Since they've chosen this path, he decides to stop being polite. He steps out from his hiding spot with total confidence and calls out to them. "Are you all waiting for me?" he asks loudly. After all, he's the one here to claim the final victory.